perfectly. How can it be now that you're with me? I can't seem to believe that this is for real. Unakazana, unakazana, nakataa. Wajaribu kusukuma, nakataa. Nimejenga ukuta kaziba, ufa uwezi ingia.
Sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
1,005 songs in more.
See how I look when you're not see where's it take credit to you do see your kwangu pozangu. God when him true got a better view. I met you, wewe ndio nuru yangu. Fact of the matter. See my Christ is the answer. You got me, so I gotta get it. Raise up the banner, make him not forget it. Stop searching for truth on my socials. Looking for answers, got promos. Sana jua, there's only one way. Ni yes, only one way.
My God is the biggest out there. I've been feeling the rap with them scriptures all over like, yeah. I know you like it, cause you know Jehovah's son is invited. And every time that he shows up, demons are finished. So there goes my heartfelt condolences to the enemy. I'm seated in heavenly places far beyond this reach. My advocate is Jesus, I'm enjoying immunity. Paid by the blood, restoration by the Father. I'm in the assembly of the firstborn, enrolled in the heavenly places of the dawn. Spirits of the rushes made perfect for God by the blood of the Lamb. Now I walk like him, talk like him, reign with him, and it calls me years. Made in his image, tell me do you see it? Son of the dawn, rapping my city, you heard? said that my God is the biggest out there. I've been feeling the rap with them scriptures all over like, yeah. I know you like it, cause you know Jehovah's son is invited. And every time that he shows up, demons are finished, so done.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, my Sheversationalists. This is a Sheversations. Welcome to the show where we amplify female voices. This show is for you and all of the girlies and all of their friends, their brothers, their sisters, and you know that's how we do. And I'm very, very happy to join you here today, this morning. My name is Caroline Murote, and you are tuned in to Power Radio, where you tune in and we power up. And I'm so happy this Friday, and I just want to know, is it a Friday to you guys? A Friday, still happy Fridays? Are they happy Fridays? Let me know how you're feeling across all social media platforms. The place to reach us out to would be Power Radio. That will be on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on TikTok. And if you want to talk to me directly, my friend, you can reach me at Caroline_Murote on Instagram, Caroline Murote on Facebook and X, and on TikTok you can find me doing some tomfoolery, Caro_Murote. That would be CAROL Murote. So what do we have? What do we have for you today here on Sheversations? So today we're talking about women, art, and activism. We are talking about how to change Kenya through creativity, and we want to see what the girlies are doing. And Kamakawa, every single Friday, you already know that we are going to be shouting out our powerful woman, and we're going to be seeing some of the ups and downs that you ladies have been going through this week, last week. You know, we're just going to talk about what's going on with the girlies, and then we're going to dive into that conversation about women, art, and activism. So let me know, in the space of activism, what do you like? Is it wasani, poetry? Is it the artist? You know, you see our beautiful, Power Radio and Power 254 space, where we are all about the visual arts. We are all about representing what we stand for visually, and empowering artists while we're doing so. So let me know what makes your heart beat when it comes to in the space of art and activism. And we are going to be back right after this music break. But let me shout out Akia, Waithaka, and Sarah said Akia. That's the jam that got us into the show this morning. And we've just listened to the good sounds of 1005 song Shani and Wood Omolo through Munoma. Right about now, we are jumping into Power Cable by Brandy Minor and Okelo Max, and I'm IJ Blink Bill and Lisa Odor Noah. I'll be back before you know it.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Set the operation nice and fitty. Roll one up, yeah. Things it can get tricky. Napenda kumedi na mziki. Kama ni mapenzi then baby, ulinifanyia nini? Cause I really wanna get time. You gotta know, yeah, like any time flies. Ntaku treat like I'm supposed to. If you just let me show ya. Takupa rest on my chest and my shoulders. I must have on my tele. I think him and I fell in love overnight there. Loving him since then. I must have on my tele. I think him and I fell in love overnight there. Loving him since then.
Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able. Face this thing called life, I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, shining so bright to get your attention. But we're so in love, so magical, I'll never love again. Believe it's planning a future now. And when we make love, you taking all the pain away. Oh, Tina Timranade, universal love me, ani chango atundenate. Pokna yudo machalo kodi ale moni ani bende abide Luanda ni Luanda migeno okana go pain okana podi. I must have fun my tele. I think she and I fell in love overnight. Wanted her since 10. I must have fun my tele. I think she and I fell in love overnight. Wanted her since 10. Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able to face this thing called life. I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, my only power cable. Oh my Abebo, Abebo. Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able to face this thing called life. I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, my only power cable. Oh my Abebo.
Was so scared to fall in love again, but your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. Scared to fall in love again, cause your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. When you're my everything. When you're my everything. When you're my everything. Oh, was so scared to fall in love again, cause your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. Ah.
Una na 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 hey. Una na na una na na una na na wala. Una na 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 hey. Una na na una na na una na na. Una na 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 hey. Una na na una na na una na na wala. Una na 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 hey. Una na na una na na una na na. Zimeni bamba zimeni. Ukweli wangu wa dhati ndio hii. Wanishikisha Zimeni bamba zimeni. Ukweli wangu wa mambo ndio hii. Wanishikisha
Nakutamani, nakuhitaji mama, siji kukosoa kwani uko poa mami. Run it up, back it up, wacha nikupende, oh yes. Baby mama, siji kukosoa kwani uko poa mami. Run it up, back it up, wacha nikupende, oh yes.
that you want me for real. When your body move, girl, I know body breathe. 5 step, pull up the receipt, girl, I pull up the receipt. Mambo ya mapenzi ni kubambana, you steady rocking it one by one. 5 step, pull up the receipt, girl, I pull up the receipt.
Nakutamani, nakuhitaji mama, siji kukosoa kwani uko poa mami. Run it up, back it up, wacha nikupende, oh yes. Nakuhitaji mama, siji kukosoa kwani uko poa mami. Run it up, back it up, wacha nikupende, oh yes. Zimeni bamba, zimeni. Ukweli wangu wa dhati ndio hii. Wanishikisha, Zimeni bamba, zimeni. Ukweli wangu wa mambo ndio hii. Wanishikisha, Oh na na na, show me that your love is real. Oh la la la, pull up slow, real close to me. Nakutamani, nakuhitaji mama, siji kukosoa kwani uko poa mami. Run it up, back it up, wacha nikupende, oh yes.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Beloved Production. Sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ameni tete, tete ya. Ameni tete, tete ya. As I lie that I can sing. That was our Wapendwa Muziki with Ameni tete ya. And right before that, we had Ama IG, Blink Bill, and Lisa Odorno, and Power Cable by Brandy Minor and Okelo Max. I hope that you were enjoying the show this morning. And you better be enjoying, because I have some good news. There is hope. There is hope around the world. Good things happening for the girlies. And this is what has been going on this particular Friday. I am bearer of good news, because when I joined this thing that's called anti-flow, this thing that's called the Red River, this thing that's called izo vitu za mashiro, sijui nini, whatever it is that you know menstruation as. Periods. Blood coming out of your uterus, pouring out of your vagina, whatever it is that you call it. Yeah, so we're talking about menstrual leave policies. We're talking about expanding workplace protections for women, and there's beautiful things that have been happening, some of them quite recently and closer to home, and Zingines Lisha happened. But let's look at the trend of menstrual leave policies. And Zambia has strengthened its menstrual leave policy recently, yeah? So they pioneered this. They started doing this in 2015, and recently this year they reaffirmed their commitment to women's rights in March 2025, yani this year. And the country's Mother's Day policy allows women to take 1 day off per month due to menstruation without needing a medical certificate. So this is not unpaid leave. It's not a sick leave. It is 1 day per month menstrual leave. And advocacy groups praise the initiative, calling for its expansion across Africa to improve gender equality at work. And let's look at what has been going on around the world with regards to menstrual leave policy. So Spain was actually the first European country, in case you didn't know, to legalize paid menstrual leave in 2023. All right, props to you, Spain. And they announced additional protections for women suffering from severe menstrual pain. So this new policy grants up to 5 paid days off per month. Zambia needs to up their game. Zambia needs to up their game because this is 5 paid days off per month and requires companies to provide flexible work from home options for affected women. I feel like this is so beautiful because 5 days is most women's periods. I know some women's period, can go up to 8 days, for a regular, normal, duration because it's literally 2 to 8 days. That is what is normal. Anything like if it's 1 day, that's weird. If it's more than 8 days, that's also not very healthy. You might need to have that looked at, even though we do embrace the different, the different experiences that women have, and every woman's experience is valid. So imagine having 5 paid days off per month. Menstrual leave. That is so, so beautiful. And then let's look at what's going on in Indonesia. So they enforced the 2-day menstrual leave, and this is under their Labor Act number 13, where Indonesia strengthened enforcement of its 2-day menstrual leave policy per month. So while companies previously ignored this law, the new government oversight has penalized businesses that fail to comply, and advocates are hoping that this sets a precedent for other Southeast Asian nations. I love this because this means that we are making strides as women in this society. We're humanizing women. We're not being othered. We're not being treated like there's something wrong with us for just demanding human rights. Girls just want basic human rights. Already, Japan, what's going on with the menstrual leave situation in Japan? So they are reviewing theirs, and Japan's 1947, guys. Long before most African countries had independence, Japan had a menstrual leave law, which allowed and still allows women to take time off for painful periods, and it is under review. Labor unions in Japan are demanding that menstrual leave be paid rather than unpaid, as is common today. And women's rights organizations argue that making the policy paid will reduce workplace stigma around menstruation. Exactly. That's exactly what we need. South Korea have been facing backlash over unequal menstrual leave. So while South Korea's labor standard law allows menstrual leave, many companies are denying women the right to take it, which is shameful. And a viral social media movement, #MenstrualLeaveNow, has forced the South Korean Ministry of Employment and Labor to investigate workplace discrimination against female employees requesting menstrual leave. I'm really excited. This is a good story. These are good stories. And Taiwan has expanded its Gender Equality in Employment Act, and they expanded this act, granting women 3 additional days of menstrual leave per year. The policy now officially separates menstrual leave from sick leave, because we're not sick. Timed sickness, that's not sickness, yeah? And they're ensuring that women do not lose their regular health-related leave days due to menstruation. I love that so much. So that's good news all around the world when it comes to menstrual leave. And Kenya, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is the reason why we need to be having conversations like this to put pressure. I'm here to let you know that these stories exist. And if you are listening and you're somebody in a position of power, start by offering that in your organization. Start advocating for that, to be enacted in your organization before you even look at government and ask, what is the government doing for us? And one of the stories that we have have for today, that's just different from the menstrual leave story, which has made me so happy, is that we've had a Million Women Rise March in London. So London, guys, tunasemanga huko majua na kuanga sawa. No. So basically the Million Women Rise, MWR, March took over the streets of London, UK this month on the 8th of March this year, marking International Women's Day there, and it was led by women of color. It be the melanated ones always, guys. And the protest raised awareness about gender-based violence and demanded better protections for survivors. And the march, which began in Hyde Park and ended in Trafalgar Square, featured speeches on intersectionality. My ancestors have come for me. Intersectionality. I know these things. I'm an educated girly. Like, we're just going to pretend like that didn't happen. So yeah, they had speeches on intersectionality. They had speeches on systemic oppression. They were talking about the failures of the UK justice system in protecting women. And ayeye is like saying yes. So ayeye to the women in London. And just bringing the stories closer to home. We've had Maasai girls that are learning self-defense to combat gender-based violence in Kenya. And I love it for the girlies that this is what Maasai girls are learning. I'm going to dive into that in just a moment. But the fact that it is so that they can protect themselves and combat gender-based violence is a really sad reason for our girls to be empowered with skills, self-defense skills. Very sad reason. And earlier this month at the Enka Kenya Center for Excellence in Kilgoris, Maasai girls began participating in self-defense training programs, and they were founded by Kakenya Ntaya, who is a survivor of genital mutilation, FGM, female genital mutilation. And this particular center provides a safe haven and free high school education for girls at risk of sexual abuse as well as early marriage. These are the conversations that we are still having. And they were partnering with Worth Defending, which is a course and a program that teaches assertiveness and boundary setting skills. And they have empowered girls such as Grace Mushani and Rahab Lepchoi to stand against gender-based violence, Uko Masai County. And this particular initiative is aiming to break the cycle of poverty as well as cultural norms that pressure girls into early marriages. So I love the initiative that we're taking, realizing that we cannot be the victims forever. We actually need to take a standpoint. We actually need to put our best foot forward and take the control back into our hands as women who are experiencing all these ill society occurrences over and over again in different spaces. Yes, another interesting thing is that on the 12th of March, there was a global surge in female incarceration. The girlies are doing crime. Very interesting. So this is about the criminal justice system particularly. And the new Penal Reform International report has revealed that the number of women in prison has increased by 57% since 2000. People, you have doubled the crimes you're doing. What is the issue? Why are we doing crime, guys? You don't know about if you do the crime, you do the time. Like, crime does not pay. Is it paying? Please tell me it's paying. Please tell me you have land somewhere for the prison time that you're doing. And this is a significantly higher rate than men, which is 22%. We have doubled. We're like, listen, I'm going to show you that women can do it better. I'm not hating. I don't like it, but I'm not going to hate because women are just as capable of evil as men are. And women are disproportionately jailed for minor offenses, which is now the sad story of why this is happening. And a lot of this is often linked to poverty, debt, and gender-based discrimination. So you see how I said women are just as capable of evil? It is not for selfish gain. It is because of poverty, because of debt, and gender-based discrimination. So like, I'm going to do something to keep myself safe. I'm going to do something to feed myself and my people. And I'm going to do something to have some, some dollars, some money in my pocket because the economy doesn't want girls to just have fun, right? And this report, the Penal Reform International report, emphasized that in some countries, abortion laws and domestic abuse are major contributors to women's imprisonment. So we could choose to trivialize that story and just say, listen, girls are just as empowered. But there is nothing to celebrate when you realize that a lot of this is because their basic human rights are not being met, because domestic abuse being some of the reason why I need to stab somebody in the chest, in the back, in the stomach, whichever part of the body you choose to bleed somebody from, because they were being abused. So basically and essentially, it's in self-defense, it's in protecting yourself that you're ending up in a situation where huwezi jitetea tena, huwezi jisimamia, and now you have to be incarcerated. So that's sad. It's potentially funny because it's like, girls, but also when you look at the reasons why it becomes sad again. And let's look at international politics as well as women's rights. So Trump's new administration has been sparking a global women's rights protest. I don't know if you guys followed on the campaigns before Trump became president. People were having meltdowns. They were having meltdowns because they said women are gonna die, So let's see what's been going on. Yeah, now that he's president, let us see. So we've had protests that erupted across New York, Washington, D.C., as well as Los Angeles after the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration introduced new restrictions on women's reproductive rights. And this one was echoing Nazi-era gender policies, which is quite sad. And advocacy groups compared these policies to the Weimar Germany playbook, citing efforts to control women's fertility, education, and workforce participation. And the demonstrations also spread to London, Berlin, and Paris, where women rallied against authoritarian attacks on bodily autonomy. So the girlies in the West are not happy at all because their autonomy is being threatened by Trump's new policies that are not very friendly to women's reproductive rights. And the UN report has accused Israel of gender-based violence in Gaza. Has been going on for a long time, and this is still ongoing. And a UN investigation accused Israel of genocidal acts that were particularly targeting women's healthcare in Gaza. We've all seen the photos, we have seen the videos. These are not myths, these are not rumors. And the report detailed the destruction of maternity wards. How evil do you need to be? An IVF clinic and restricted medical supplies, arguing that these attacks disproportionately harmed Palestinian women's reproductive health. Yes, we don't need to argue this is a fact. And UN officials warned that Israel's blockade was deliberately preventing pregnant women and newborns from receiving life-saving care, fueling further international outrage. Wow. I know that they say that all is fair in love and war. But is it though? Is it? Because if I'm carrying a younger me in my belly, I am quite defenseless. I am not as powerful as everybody else, and men don't have to go through that. Now we know across history, throughout the ages, that women are always targeted because physically they are the more vulnerable party. So yes, this is gender discrimination. It's not just war. Even in war, there's severe gender discrimination, and we need to come to terms with that not everybody is hurting the same way. Women and children hurt more in times of conflict because of how vulnerable they are physically. And we have also another story with regards to women in technology leadership in Africa. And on the 5th of February, this year, Kenyan activist and tech entrepreneur Ori Okolo was appointed to the board of the GSMA Foundation. I love that, which is known for co-founding Mzalendo, and this is a parliamentary watchdog site, and Ushahidi, which is a crisis mapping platform. And Okolo's appointment reflects her ongoing commitment to leveraging technology for social change. Girlies in tech are winning, and her role at a GSMA Foundation is expected to drive initiatives that promote digital inclusion for African women as well as youth. And let's just look at one more story with regards to education and female empowerment in our country. Now, as of March 2025, the Daraja Academy, a boarding school near Nanyuki, has expanded its Women of Integrity, Strength and Hope, so this is called a WISH program, to 6 public high schools in Laikipia County. And this initiative aims to empower girls by teaching leadership and life skills. And these are the kind of stories that we want to hear. How are we empowering each other? How are the girlies being empowered? And I'm so glad to report that the program now reaches 690 girls annually, with plans to impact over 5,000 girls by 2026. So they are planning to increase the numbers of the girls impacted more than 100%, because from 690 girls annually, 5,000 girls by 2026. So I hope that we are celebrating on this Friday, that we are celebrating all the different wins we have, and that we are being very intentional to think about the different areas where we still need to tighten our seatbelts and just pull up our socks when it comes to women's issues. Now we're gonna dive into another music break, and this is gonna be Amsterdam and Helen by Jivu, and then Shamawedo by Kwame Reggae. I'm gonna see you guys after this break.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Amsterdam and Helen, match was made in heaven, heaven. Everybody knows how the story goes. The boy was 27, had everything he wanted. When he saw her walk by, nothing more perfect. She comes in different flavors, different flavors, different flavors. And all the love from neighbors, all the neighbors are. Who should tell you was the right one? Everybody knows he's the wild one. Louis V jeans in the right, Cali on the left and a Henny on the right one. Now she's waiting for the next one. She couldn't get it from the last one. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. The one you're with is like the best drug. Things change. It's funny how people remain the same. Funny how everything goes all around, then comes around again. Funny how we go everywhere looking for love. Funny how we made this funny song. Yeah. So Amsterdam was heaven, fast life 9/11. No time to think twice to play, you gotta pay the price. And everything real nice, someday you leave it all behind. Everything real nice, someday you leave it all behind. Now she's waiting for the next one. She couldn't get it from the last one. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. The one you're with is like the best drug. I want it, I get it. Get it, I want it. I want it, I get it. Get it, I want it. I want it, I get it. Get it, I want it. I want it, I get it. Get it, I want it. Now she's waiting for the next one. She couldn't get it from the last one. Hurry up. Like the best drug. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. She couldn't get it from the last one. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. The one you're with is like the best drug.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ay, 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 ay. Chupita nyumite ogatageria nati kwenda gutukirirwo ni muthu bari ucereirwo ticie gwatio ni uria kuri nyamukira ondoka eni ndetoma nerehe ngwire ningwendete wanjira sama wendo oi wanjira sama turomo nerehe ngwire ningwendete wanjira sama wendo oi wanjira sama turomo twaku uhe twakwa nani turomo tuheane nindanogio nĩ wendo wa thimũ-inĩ nĩnjiguĩte mateta maku mwendwa ingũrĩra ndĩ haha ndĩ wothe hingie mabataro maku mothe ndarihe kĩrĩa ũheaga ndĩ haha ndĩ wothe wanjĩra sama wendo sama wendo wendete mũno na nĩ ũĩ na kĩrĩa ngwendeire no ũĩ sama wendo sama wendo sama wendo mute turomo.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Sheversations. The time is 4:45 for Friday. And we've just listened to the good of Kwame Reggae with Samoedo. And right before that, we had Amsterdam and Helen by G. Vu. And if you are regular here, you already know what's about to happen. We're about to shout out a powerful woman. Now, please don't forget to reach out to us, Power Radio, across all the socials. Caroline_Murote on Instagram, Caroline Murote on Facebook and X, and at Caro Murote on TikTok. If you want to give your feedback, you want to share a story, you just want to let me know that I am awesome, I'm waiting for you in the DMs. And just make sure that you're blowing up the comment section on YouTube. Like, and just share this broadcast with all of your peoples already. So today's powerful woman, ladies and gentlemen, is the one and the only Elsa Majimbo already. So you guys love to hate Elsa Majimbo. Like, hating has gotten you where? Where has it gotten you? Kenyans don't like this girl. Kenyans do not like Elsa. It is very evident by the comments that they put on her social media posts. Yet Elsa amesha move on na maisha yake. And honestly, I celebrate her, and we're going to see why. We're going to see who Elsa is, what she's been able to achieve, why she is a powerful woman already. So yes, her name is Elsa Majimbo. No secrets there. No trufinas coming out of the, no shock. It's just Elsa Majimbo. And she was born May 29, 2001. So she is proper Gen Z, because by the time your date of birth becomes a compound sentence, like, what do you mean 2000 and? What do you mean and? That's a compound sentence. Like, don't do that. Like, that's like you were born, you're new, you're recent, lately. Lately in the world, these are the children. Anyways, let me stop showing my millennial ways. And she is a Kenyan by nationality. And she was born Huku, City Girl, Nairobi, Kenya, born and raised. And Elsa comes from a middle class family, and they were very intentional to nurture her talent from a young age, to the point where growing up, she was known for her creativity as well as her sense of humor. And her parents were quite supportive of her interests, which is key when it comes to nurturing your love for the arts. Parental support is actually key. And she grew up with one sibling, so there wasn't a bunch of people in her house growing up. And her parents were also big on education, but also encouraging her to pursue her passions, which eventually led to her becoming a content creator. So let's see if this is an educated girly. Indeed she is, because she attended Kenya High School, which is a prestigious institution in Nairobi, where she actually excelled academically as well as socially. And that is where she began her comedic and theatrical inclinations towards all the beauty that we see on social media into becoming the Elsa that we know now. And she continued she was involved when she was in school. She was involved in extracurricular activities, including drama club. So if you want to be like Elsa, better have some drama on your record, right? And this actually allowed her to cultivate her public speaking prowess as well as performance skills. So power to the drama girlies. And later on, Akauna, no, I need a tertiary education. And she enrolled at the University of Education for a degree in architecture. Alafu akasema, it's not for me. It's not for me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is not for me, because she was very passionate about content creation, and she was going up the ladder when it came to her fame on social media. And she put her academic career on hold in order to pursue her growing online presence. And she never looked back. She decided to follow her career path in content creation and being entrepreneurial in that space, which honestly speaking has paid off significantly. There is this argument of, do people go to school to get education, or do you get an education so that you can earn money? What's the primary reason why we get an education? I understand the reason for getting educated as being empowered with skills that will allow you to make a living. So school is not just a fun seminar where you kumbaya and you say, oh my God, that's so deep. I didn't know, that's so interesting. It is so that it can translate into income. Later on, it can impact how you're going to live your life, how you're going to make decisions. So a lot of people frown on people that choose to live their education and don't finish and don't complete. And a good example that I've heard from one of my lecturers, he said, if you love somebody, put a ring on it. So you not going the full way with your education is like being in a situationship with somebody you claim you are fully committed to, yet cannot make that decision to make them your main. And I think that's a fair point. But in the world we live in today, a lot of the education we're receiving is not translating into skills. It's not translating into monetizable knowledge and information. A lot of people are really struggling to understand how to monetize what they have studied. And I'm not saying study something because it's marketable only, but if somebody is able to get what they need and they don't need to go through that educational journey, learning is for life. Yes, a degree, a certificate, that's academics, but learning is for life. So what I would say is that if you're somebody who is teachable, if you're somebody who is very intentional on growing, you will never start learning. And for some people, they don't need that ring on their finger. for their relationship to be stable. I don't quite like that example because y'all know my stance on like marriage and everything. If you're not new here, if you're new here, I'm a girly who says put a ring on it, guys. By the time you're living together and deciding to do life together and doing baby making activities, be married. That's my preference, but we all have our different opinions on that matter. But when it comes to career, I think it's perfectly acceptable in today's economic terrain to just jump into whatever is giving you income as long as you continue growing in that area and don't become static. I hope that has made sense. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about people dropping their degrees so that they can follow an already successful career that's getting them the income that they probably were hoping to get through the education. So other than the information, it's for the income because girls gotta eat. Do you understand? So yeah, that's Elsa's education journey, and she said adios to school and hello to the silver stage. To Tinseltown. She said hey to content and being on the socials, being all over in our faces. And this particular journey started in 2020 when the world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Isn't it funny how we mention COVID from time to time, but when we were in COVID, we never thought it would end? It's the funniest thing how things come and pass. Like things just come and pass, which means that you need to constantly be looking forward and not be stuck because something is wrong now, because there is always something beyond that you can't see. And if you decide to focus, and convince yourself and believe and act in accordance to a mindset that there is something better ahead, that this too shall pass, then the way we feel about COVID, as much as a lot of people were lost and it's quite sad, I think that was a great lesson to the world in showing us that things will fall apart and things will come together again after that. Yeah, so many people were focused on just staying indoors and being couch potatoes and being helpless. She actually used the lockdown as an opportunity to build herself, and she did this by creating short, funny, and witty videos on Instagram. And her particular signature style of delivering sarcastic and dry humor resonated with a global audience. Honestly, Elsa was it. During COVID, her videos were top tier. And because of that, she quickly went viral, and her relatable, no-nonsense attitude honestly became a breath of fresh air during the pandemic. People appreciated being made to laugh. But her particular breakthrough moment in 2020 was where she posted a video discussing humorously the challenges of quarantine, calling attention to her unique take on being the boss of her own life. And this particular video went viral very quickly, and it attracted a large following, giving her the global audience that she needed to land high-profile partnerships. And the saddest thing about this story is that she got a majority of her support from South Africans and a few Nigerians and Kenyans. Even way back when, were just like, whatever, like, yeah, you're funny, but I'm not going to support. So at that point, she took up one of my names. We share a name, me and Elsa and I, Mpo, which is a Tswana name from Southern Africa, particularly rooted in the Tswana people of Botswana who spread out into South Africa. And the people on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram named her Mpo, because they really embraced her, and Kenyan audiences were like, whatever, we're sick and tired. And this speaks to a lot of social economic class divide, because it was so evident that Elsa is privileged. It was so evident that she could care less about some of the struggles, and she was very frank in her humor. And I think what a lot of Kenyans didn't like is that they couldn't relate with her because they were struggling. People were being kicked out of their houses. She was making us laugh, but a lot of people were sour over the fact that she can just laugh about everything. And I think we need to look into why we're so bitter when people are happy when we're not. Because, does it mean that it's only valid to be happy if other people are happy? That if I'm going through a rough time, I am not at all able to recognize and celebrate somebody who is going through a great season in their life? we need to up on our emotional intelligence, which is why I don't care that Kenyans hate on Elsa, because I can tell that this is a socio-economic struggle. It's a girl who's unapologetically herself. English never loved us, remember? Drake said. So remember, English never loved us. And yeah, I like that she has been herself this whole time. And we need to accept that we come from different spaces in life. And if our first feedback when it comes to somebody that we can't relate with is to hate, then you get Elsa, who is supported by South Africans, and make it to the global stage. And she's a Kenyan. And you continue to be angry and bitter, yet other people saw value. Yeah? And they say you never know what you have until it's gone. Well, as Kenyans, we lost our trust relationship with Elsa because we did not treat her with the love and respect that she deserves, or rather with the acceptance and the support that we should give any local star. And she won the People's Choice Award, but we're going to get into that, yeah? And I love that she was able to just bring out her best self, and she became a force to be reckoned with. Now, a few achievements that we're celebrating Elsa for this morning is that she has worked with several global brands, including Fendi, Valentino, YouTube, and Puma. Come on now. Like una hate and your Puma shoes are written Pua? No, do better. So she's collaborated with Fendi. She did this way back in 2021. And this was a major milestone in her career, placing her in the same league as global fashion icons. Come on now. And in the same 2021, she launched her own merchandise line, which included apparel as well as accessories that featured her signature quirky humor. And her most popular slogan is, "I'm not for everyone." That's the most Gen Z thing I've done in a while. I'm gonna stop. And so her "I'm not for everyone" slogan became a hit among young people globally because her stock was selling out. And this merch line also allowed her to raise funds for various causes such as mental health awareness as well as girls' education. So she's somebody that isn't all in it just for herself. And she has used her platform to empower young women, young people, particularly young women, by advocating for self-love, self-acceptance, body positivity, as well as mental health awareness. Now, is that not a powerful woman? Come on now. And she has repeatedly, time after time, spoken about the importance of self-expression as well as embracing one's uniqueness. And I don't think I have seen somebody come out of Kenya that is so themselves that it is painful. It's like, I don't really care about the rest of you. I will be myself even if it is embarrassing. I'm going to be myself even if it's weird. She is herself. And the thing is, she's not bothering anyone. She's in her own lane. If you don't like what she says, just move on to the next person. Move to the next person. Move to the next person. Because now what are we going to do? So she's also been an advocate of women's rights, and she's been using her influence to speak on gender equality. And she has made several appearances at major international events where she continues to represent African women in the global conversation. Now let's get to the goodies, the awards and the recognition, the props, the accolades. So Elsa is a powerful woman for the following reasons, in case the point has not landed home so far. She has been on the Forbes Africa's 30 under 30 in 2020. Imagine. Forbes, guys. Forbes. She was listed as one of the top 30 under 30 in Africa, specifically in the media and entertainment category. And this recognition honestly cemented her as one of the most influential young women in Africa. So you can hate, but game recognized game, right? And she also won the best media personality at the African Social Media Awards in 2021, right? And this was because she was able to leverage digital platforms to create content that resonates globally. Already, 2021 was a winning year for her, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because it is also the same year where she was featured on Vogue's Rising Star. If you don't know Vogue, this is one of the most couture, high fashion magazines in the world, right? And she was recognized as one of Vogue's rising stars. And this is a prestigious acknowledgement of her influence in the fashion and entertainment industry. And she also got an award through the Shorty Awards, which is something that recognizes different artists. And she was given the Best in Comedy category for her sharp wit and the way that she made all of us laugh on social media. Also, 2021, this girl just was collecting everything everywhere. The African Youth Awards. She was honored with the Social Media Personality of the Year award by the African Youth Awards for her massive influence and the impact across the continent. Let me tell you, if you're like Elsa, being yourself pays, because this is the evidence. 2021, she was also nominated for the British Fashion Awards. What do you mean a girl from Nairobi, Kenya is nominated for the British Fashion Awards? No, we can do everything and some. And her collaboration with Fendi led her to this nomination, where she was recognized for her unique influence on global fashion as well as entertainment. And 2022, she was continuing. She didn't stop. We had the Puma and Elsa Majimbo collaboration, where she was chosen as the face of Puma's campaign, making another significant milestone in her career. And if she hadn't already solidified herself in our minds, this did it. Her status as a global fashion icon did that when that Puma and Elsa Majimbo collaboration happened in 2022. And she was also on the top 100 most creative people in business. Yeah? In 2021, she was listed in Fast Company's top 100 most creative people in business. Because is she not creative? Because tell me why somebody with her unkempt hair, glasses, eating crisps in her bedroom making videos is not creative. No, don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate because your raggedy self is not getting any views. Don't hate because somebody else did it first and succeeded, right? And this particular achievement in the top 100 most creative people underscored her and her influence in the digital media landscape. Also, in 2022, she was on the top 50 digital creators globally. That's her second Forbes accolade. And she was featured as a top 50 digital creators, joining the ranks of other high-profile influencers and entrepreneurs from around the world. And a few collaborations, the Fendi collaboration, yes, was a turning point in her career, because it helped her expand her influence in social media into beyond social media into the world of luxury fashion. And she became one of the first African influencers to be a part of a high profile campaign with a brand with a brand of such a high caliber. No. We need to go back to our mother tongues, guys. Why do we suffer like this? What is the reason? What is the... No, you can't tell me I've been in school all these years learning this language and it still lets me down. I'm not okay. I am not okay. But we don't want to talk about me right now. We're talking about Elsa. So she's had a few global brand partnerships. Valentino, high fashion, YouTube, Puma, right? And when it comes to entrepreneurship, we already talked about her line that she launched in 2021. So she was selling t-shirts, hats, and accessories, right? That were all about self-love and self-expression. And when it comes to empowerment and advocacy, she has been standing important causes with regards to mental health, as well as women's empowerment and body positivity. So currently she remains as one of the most prominent digital creators globally. She has millions of followers to prove the same on Instagram as well as on YouTube. And she is a widely recognized brand ambassador. And there is nothing we can say to hate on this lady, even if she's not your cup of tea. And she's like, I'm not for everybody. So what are we learning, ladies, from Elsa Majimbo? Why is she a powerful woman? And what's the takeaway home? That resilience and authenticity are key, because her story highlights the importance of being extremely authentic as well as resilient in the face of challenges and hate and criticism. And she has managed to carve her own path unapologetically, and she continues to break barriers, right? We can also learn on how to leverage digital platforms because she shows how powerful social media and digital platforms can be in transforming somebody's life, their career, their livelihood, and also turning something that you're passionate about into business opportunities. What other thing can we learn? Empowerment, right? It's important for you to use your platform to empower others because Elsa's advocacy for women's rights as well as body positivity, mental health awareness makes her a powerful role model to young girls everywhere, especially those from marginalized communities, because that's what we need. People that have the door open to hold it for others who have not yet gotten there. So we love it, love it, love it for Elsa, who is not just a comedian or influencer, but also a symbol of empowerment, self-expression, as well as business success. And the fact that she was able to move from a social media content creator to a luxury global fashion icon shows that when you follow your passion, greatness follows. So shout out to our powerful woman for today, Elsa Majimbo. And right about now, we're about to catch a vibe with Karun and Mombru. And we have Cham Thum, also known as a Toti Bawatenda Willie, following up after that. I'll be back. She can have a conversation about women, art, and activism and how we can change Kenya through creativity. See you soon. Don't touch that dial.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
I don't know, feel so right. Don't know anyone who makes me catch a vibe, feel the frequency. Get your vibe on you and me. Feel alright, baby, we could see if we could be right. There's something about the way you smile. Hold your breath and baby we could catch a vibe, feel the frequency. Catch a vibe on you and me. Feel alright, baby, we could see if we could be. I said, it's a part of me. All the art you see, you should be proud of me. She said, you're my baby G. You work hard, I see. So now she proud of me. How could this be? How could this be? Yeah. How could it be? Blessings on me, yeah. Blessings on me, yeah. Blessings shining on me, yeah. Shines on my neighbor, shining we claim. Blessings we see, yeah. Blessings on me, blessings. I don't know anyone who feels so right. Don't know anyone who makes me catch a vibe, feel the frequency. Catch a vibe on you and me. Feel alright, baby, we could see if we could be right. See, there's something about you makes me higher. Breathe it in and maybe we could catch a vibe, feel the frequency. Catch a vibe on you and me. Feel alright, baby, we could see if we could be. Only you could see what you mean to me. You won't believe it. I'm here for the ride. All your love's a riot, such a vibe. Only
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
1005 songs and
And he said I can move any mountains for you. Mountains for you. Yesu wangu anaweza. Anaweza. He can move any mountains for you. Any mountains for you. Anaweza, yeah. Anaweza. All things possibility. Possibility. All things possibility. We got ability.
they call me Shana the Dawn. Yeah, I'm a Shana the got ability like Yahweh. He suppressed the kings of the underworld, my way. Rock of the ages, ancient of days, lily of the valley and the bright and morning star. Anything is possible with him. He raised up the dead after days in the grave. Parted the sea for the nation in a minute. He'll answer your matter in less than a minute.
I can move any mountains for you. Mountains for you. It's the one going out west. I know west.
He can move any mountains for you. Any mountains for you. I know west. Yeah. I know west.
All things possibility with God of ability. Ability. Possibility. All things possibility with God of ability. Ability. Possibility.
Inna the dark when it's tough, you always stepping up. Endless possibilities, salute the Holy Trinity, yeah. See, no eye ever seen it, no ear ever heard it. I know man can't conceive it. The good things in store for those who love him. I'm ready now to see the impossible.
And he said I can move any mountains for you. Mountains for you. It's the one going out west. I know west.
He can move any mountains for you. Any mountains for you. I know where's yeah. I know where's
all things possibility with God of ability. Ability. Possibility. All things possibility with God of ability. Ability. Possibility. And he said I can move any mountains for you. Mountains for you. It's the one going out west. I know west.
He can move any mountains for you. Any mountains for you. I know where's I know where's
He can move any mountains for you. Mountains for you. It's the one going out west. I know west.
He can move any mountains for you. Any mountains for you. I know where's yeah. I know where's
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Already, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Sheversations. So the time right now is 18 minutes past 12, and we are about to dive into our today's conversation, which is women, art, and activism, which is changing Kenya through creativity. That is what this conversation is meant to profile and highlight. Already. So why are we talking about women's space in art and creativity? Why? Because we need to feature activism as part of our conversations, because that is how young people express themselves today. One of the most impactful ways to reach people is through art, because art targets the emotions and changes minds through the emotions. If you're able to capture people emotionally, you could convince them to kill. If you're able to capture people emotionally, you're able to convince them to join a cult. You capture people emotionally, girlies will give birth for you, men will kill for you. That is how strong emotions are, and that is why art is so important, because it engages with the parts of us that we don't even understand. It doesn't need to be a logical conversation. It doesn't need to be a conversation of point after point after point, right? This is because this is a conversation about empowerment as well as social justice. So yeah, we just want to dive into how creatives are using film, how they're using music, how they're using poetry, digital storytelling, as well as visual art and performance to advocate for gender equality, human rights, and civic engagement. So that is what today's conversation is about. Now, art in activism. So artivism essentially is when you use art as a tool for resistance as well as social change in Kenya, right? So a few examples of women who have been using their creative platforms to speak out against gender-based violence, corruption, and justice. Women such as Mothoni, the drama queen. And we're also going to look into women breaking barriers in the creative industry. We're going to look at how do online movements work and how do we move from hashtags to real change. We're going to look into art as a livelihood and just see if women can actually make money while advocating for change. We also want to talk about cultural storytelling as excuse me, as well as women's narratives and what does it look like to have a safe space for creatives, safe creative spaces for women. Do they exist and what do they look like? And also we need to be talking about women and climate justice as well as art. So before we dive into all of those things, I just want to share a few happenings, you know, in this conversation. So between from March 11th to the 15th, we've had just a film, you know, award, and the categories were different, and this system was just awarding different filmmakers, and Kenyan filmmaker Ngendo Muki has won an international award for her animated film on African women's resilience already. On the 12th of March, we had a viral poem by a Nairobi spoken word artist who called out police brutality against women protesters, sparking a national debate. Like, where are we going as a country? Police brutality, why has it not yet stopped? Why has it not yet stopped? Right. And on the 14th of March, we had Kenyan activist and singer, our fave, Fena Gitu Trufena, dropping a new song advocating for mental health awareness among young women in Kenya. And we want to look into how we can get to supporting women-led art projects and buying their work, how we can actually engage with women activists and amplify their voices, how we can push for policies that protect women in creative industries, how we can create and share content that challenges oppressive narratives, and how we can invest in spaces such as Power 254 and Power Radio to nurture women creatives. So before we get back into the conversation, we're going to take a short break. I want you to be thinking about, can art truly change Kenya? Do you believe that art can be a tool and a vehicle for us to change this country, or are we just building sandcastles in the air, right? So is this another form of expression that just doesn't move the needle whatsoever? Are we doing this to make ourselves feel good while it having no impact? So let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about that, ladies and gentlemen. But right before this, we had Ability by 1005 Songs. We had Chamtum, Atoti by Atendo Willie, and right about now we're about to jump into Chukua by MJ Wemoto, Waithaka Waithera, and Wanavokali, and we'll be back to dive into this conversation.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Can heal, soon it will be clear. Only time can heal. Dreams full of broken dreams, pushed aside, forgotten. Don't you sleep no more. Your time is coming.
you stop running. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. Life can bring you down, turn it all around, make you feel like it doesn't matter. Love, let it light your way, be your guiding star. Let it light your way. Your time is coming. Don't you stop running. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Keep running, running. Keep running, running. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Don't you give up. Keep running, running. Don't you give up. Keep running, running. Keep running, running. Keep running, running. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Don't give up. You're Teniaco. Don't give up. Keep running, running. Keep running, running. Keep running, running.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Don't you ever compare. Whatever we do is not fair. Play with me, we're not there. Take a picture and stick that on. Oh yeah. Turn it up, come on. Come on. Here come the hot step. The underdog bounce back. If you know, then you know it. And if you don't, keep quiet. Never can go. They said they don't rate me. I said I don't care. How can you rate one speak when all you fuck with this damn shit? Twende kazi. Man, take no jokes. Kama lipuka, naweza kuruka, pate kushtuka. Kushuka sishuki.
mind in the streets. Louis, truly, used to keep. Pull up outside of the States at the beep. Baby, mama dream car, still a black Jeep. The Jeep too, but I want a 3D printed sheet whip. Baby, Porsche truck, Lambo, when the doors flip. Whip, big as fuck, 2022 spaceship. Jaw dropping bitch stuck inside with a facelift. Who basic, who like the fuck rappers in a new crib. Yeah, I'm the life of the party. You like it when I call you my shawty.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Power Radio, the show is Sheversations, and the time is 28 minutes to 1. It is 32 minutes past half past the day, and we've just listened to the good sounds of Chukua by MJ Wamoto, Waithaka Waithera, and one of Okali, followed by Compare, that was Blinky Bill, and a Gold Link. And if you have any feedback whatsoever, Caroline_Murote on Instagram, Caroline Murote on Twitter and Facebook, and at Carol Murote, as well as Power Radio across all the socials is a place where you need to be dropping that, or you can do so on the YouTube comment section. Now, I promised you we're just going to unpack very quickly where creativity meets activism. So we're talking about artivism, and we want to inspire action through creativity. We want to shift conversations. We want to ignite a social transformation. Now, why are we having this conversation? Because for the longest time, art has been such a powerful tool. It has been a tool for resistance. It has been a catalyst for social change. And these are the different ways in which women are not just creating art for art's sake. That's the question I had asked you before. Are we just creating? Are we actually creating change? But what is happening is that art is being used as a direct tool for social transformation. So we're going to look at it, whether it's music, visual arts, poetry, film. Women are making their voices heard, and they are shifting different cultural narratives through the creative spaces towards justice and equality, because that is the aim, that is the goal post. So we want to look into the power of art through activism, right? And because art, we have already said, is a powerful tool for resistance as well as social change, the same is the case for Kenya. And this is different ways that art has been used as resistance, because moving from gender-based violence all the way to police brutality to political corruption, women artists have been using their craft to change these deeply rooted issues. And these are us highlighting a few of these women who have been using their platform to speak out, as well as providing solutions for these problems. Munyiri Drama Queen is one person that we had shouted out before the break. Her music speaks on empowerment, African pride, as well as social change, and her songs are more than entertainment. They are literal calls to action. So you need to get to the nearest Spotify and click on Munyiri the Drama Queen. Just listen to her jams and let me know if it resonates with you, how intentional her music is in calling us out and calling us up hither, so that we are better versions of ourselves, representing society in the best way possible in the spaces where we have been empowered with the opportunity to create change. We also have Wangeshi Mutu, who's a visual artist that addresses the intersection of gender, race, as well as power. And she often critiques colonialism as well as the patriarchy. So this girlie is saying no to oppressive systems, no to the struggle that we are facing in our neo-colonial systems, and no to the patriarchy, right? We have Kwambox. Who has murals that challenge gender stereotypes as well as highlighting issues that affect women. And when it comes to these spaces, you might ask yourself, so what's the role of artists in artistic spaces? Creative hubs as well as collectives offer viral support for nurturing artistic expression. We are talking about building networks of solidarity. We're talking about fostering conversations around social change. So when you create art hubs, you create creative spaces, it makes it easier. It's better facilitated, a smoother process when we are looking for these transformational conversations. And these spaces actually provide opportunities for women to rally together, to work together, to learn from one another, and to amplify our collective voices. Now, jumping into women breaking barriers in the creative industry, what does that actually look like? What does it look like? We faced quite a few struggles in our creative industry. In this, we have different challenges, and women often face significant barriers as they try to make their mark in the creative industry. So, one of the struggles that I don't particularly like is gatekeeping. A lot of women find it really hard to enter creative spaces because we have individuals that are supported by societal norms that favor male dominance in these spaces. In the arts and media, for example, production spaces are so male-ridden to the point where it's quite frustrating. Yet there are so many good women producers in the industry, yet it's very hard for them to get to the top of that industry because of the gatekeeping, and not every woman has that attitude of holding the door open. So even as you fight your way to the top, because it is a fight, as you push your way to the front, you need to remember to hold the door open for other women. Another challenge that we face is censorship. Women are often censored for being too outspoken, too controversial. This opinion is too much. You're too much this, too much that. And one of those women, I would say, is the powerful woman that we were shouting out today, Elsa Majimbo. Somebody else who draws a lot of interest in Kenya that is, one reason or another, every month trending for a different reason, is Eve Mungai. She is a journalist, she's a podcast host, and she's an all-round let me go get the news type of girly. She is very opinionated, but you find people like her being censored because they are too much, too controversial, and are not just allowed the same space that we give men to be themselves, to be their authentic, crazy, wild self. And honestly, when it comes to censorship, this is how it affects women, in that the fear of backlash can often stifle and silence creativity, making it hard for women to speak a truth to power. So we need to bring this to an end. Also, we are facing a lot of misogyny as well as stereotypes. And we see this when we see women in the music, film, and poetry spaces frequently dealing with misogynistic attitudes. They are often overly sexualized, or they are dismissed for not fitting the traditional mold of what an artist should look and act like, as if the mold of an artist is, supposed to be one size fits all. That's not the case. There are girlies who cover up all the time. There's girlies who don't like clothing. There's girlies who want to slather makeup on their face, and girlies who like their faces and prefer it that way, just as they are. And there's no justification to try and fit everybody in the same box, because if God allowed us creative freedom, why are we the ones to curb that? Because we are women that are willing to express themselves. Let women speak out, right? Let women speak out. Let women say what they want to say without having to face all the stereotypes and without going through a lot of misogyny. Right now, a few women who have actually done the thing. Miss Lupita Nyong'o, a fave of mine here on Sheversations. She is an Oscar-winning actress who has used her platform to advocate for women's rights, as well as encouraging young girls to pursue their dreams in Hollywood, to pursue their dreams. The tagline, your dreams are valid. That becoming popular was popularized by Lupita Nyong'o when she was receiving her Oscar in 2012 for 12 Years a Slave. And I can never forget Lupita Nyong'o on that global stage telling young, dark-skinned girls like herself, girls that haven't seen themselves on TV represented, and saying, your dreams are valid. If I can do it, you can do it. And that was such a powerful and moving message. We also have Shiro Mvududu, who's an artist whose work uses traditional Kenyan crafts to challenge gender inequality as well as to promote female empowerment, right? And we love to see people that are going outside of the norm and doing unconventional things, creating in unconventional and unexpected ways to create social change, to make impact and a challenge toxic and harmful norms in society that disadvantage women already. And mentorship and support is extremely important when it comes to making a space for activists and art to flourish. And we can do this through having various mentorship programs and funding different initiatives, having collaborative opportunities where women creatives can overcome industry challenges, where we can share and brainstorm. You know, I feel like maybe the African Media Festival is a good example of how you have seasoned journalists such as Mark Masai coming to interact with, you know, the rest of us who have still not gotten to that point. And I think we need to create more spaces like that are women-centered, where we can have the Caroline Mutokos, where we can have the Lillian Mullies, where we can have the this, the that, we can have all of this, the Julie Gishures of the world, the Kaleche Mumos of the world, Adele, Onyango, and all these different ladies that have made it to come and let us know how it actually goes, and just network and share ideas. So that is what mentorship and support could do, is prepare the next generation, you know, through the ones that have been there before. But what I'm actually wondering is when it comes to the onlines, yes, when it comes to this content creation, the hashtags, the advocacy, the activism that we do that's mostly digital, how do we move from hashtags to real change? How do we translate what we are saying on the socials, on these digital platforms, this digital platform, into real social change qua ground, right? So one of the impacts of digital activism is seen through movements such as #MeToo, #StopRape, a #FreeOurGirls. They have been central examples in raising awareness and catalyzing real world change. And Kenyan women are actually advocating and leveraging on platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to demand justice and hold institutions accountable. And something that we saw is the #RejectFinanceBill. We saw how we were able to rally together physically, qua ground, and actually make these changes happen. So it is possible, right? And we have a few examples. So we have Caroline Mutoko, who is a powerhouse, a media personality who uses her platform to address gender inequality, sexual harassment, as well as violence against women. We also have Njeri Rionge, who's an entrepreneur and uses social media to empower young Kenyan women to pursue careers in tech and in business. So it doesn't actually matter what field you're in. You can leverage your digital platform and use it to create social change, depending on how intentional you are, because then it translates to you doing these things in real life. It looks like, you know, bringing women on Sheversations to have conversations about empowerment, to give information, to demystify whatever it is that we are wrong about. That's what it looks like, you know, and then just making sure that qua ground sasa tunaongea, we are having these conversations, we are pushing this into the air spaces, you know, and we are coming back with feedback and normalizing conversations. That's one real way to do it. Just being very intentional, curating the content that's put out there so that you can change conversations, because we understand that revolutions start with an idea. they're started with an idea. It's not always, let me go into the street and people will follow me. It's always an idea, which is why propaganda is such a big tool in politics. The spoken word and hate speech and so on and so forth are such powerful tools when it comes to tribalism. I don't just wake up one day and want to stab my Lakeside sisters because I'm a Morema girl. In the back because I hate how they are. No, it's an ideology that's created in my mind when I consume certain people's opinions and directives verbally. So we need to use our platforms and change the conversation. That is a practical way to do this. And something that needs to be taken into account is that there are so many different risks of online activism, and that despite the power of digital activism, women actually face serious risks when they speak out online. Online harassment is a thing. Being threatened online is a thing. Cyberbullying are rampant, and many women, unfortunately, have been targeted for speaking out on sensitive issues, particularly matters like police brutality, like sexual violence, or misogyny. So it's quite unfortunate that it doesn't come without its risks. Now, I am concerned about how women can make money while advocating for change. Can art be a livelihood? Can art be a livelihood? Is it something that can put money in your pocket, right? So women can sustain their work while staying true to their message. How? How can we do this? Right. So let's look into the financial struggles. Women in the creative industry often struggle significantly when it comes to getting financial support, right? So the market for socially conscious art is very niche. People don't want to hear the truth. People just want something that does not cause them to think, because that's how our society has been socialized. So we actually need to create a demand by changing what is put out so that people can desire more of that, because that is what they're used to. So the reason why we want bubblegum rap, the reason why we want rubbish, the reason why we don't want content that actually engages you, is because our minds don't recognize it as pleasant. We are shallow. As a nation, our content is shallow, and I say this with my full chest. It is very difficult to get popular content, local Kenyan content, just on YouTube. Popular. A lot of views, well supported, that is not bubblegum and shallow. So it means that this is still niche. So it's actually very sad, because it means that a lot of the financial support that is, catering for these platforms to create their content isn't necessarily available for what is not popular, right? And artists are not always paid adequately for their work. So this is what it looks like to support activism. We need to sustain activism by accessing grants for women, crowdfunding, right? Harambe, and art collectives. These platforms is what could help women creatives gain visibility, as well as funding and opportunities to monetize their craft, because you need to go into it with a realistic mindset that this is not for everybody. This is not for everybody, right? So we are going to continue this conversation on women, on art, on creativity and activism. But for today, this is where we are curbing this conversation. So I hope that this has actually triggered in your mind questions, has made you think about what kind of creative landscape are we, and what kind of a consumer are you? What do you enjoy to watch? What do you enjoy listening to, and why? And how can you change the diet so that your body starts to crave what is healthy? Because as it is physically, so is it in the mind and in the psyche. If you're constantly consuming garbage, that is what your body will crave. So when it comes to content, whatever it is that you consume, that is what your body will crave. So I just want to put a stopper on that. This is a conversation that definitely has not come to an end. But for now, we are going to end with a powerful jam, Criminal by MDQ, which is a good example of how we can use art to advocate for social social change. So this is MDQ, Hook, and GR. That is Criminal. It's going to be followed by Dala by East African Wave and Mankind. And I hope that you enjoy your weekend. Enjoy responsibly. I have been your host, Caroline Murote, and I'm going to see you same place, same time next week on Monday. Love you loads. Bye-bye.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.